on, collectors? This is Parlay Jay here with you today. And on today's episode, I want to share with you my top 4 buying opportunities for baseball cards now in the middle of August, which is the beginning of the season, but also happens to be the middle of the season. And we've seen a lot of swings and a lot of ups and downs. We've seen hot hands, and we've seen hot hands start to cool down actually too. We've also seen the reverse, guys like Christian Yelich, who started out ice cold, even though it's only like an 8-game stretch, and then finally start to hit the ball. And so what I wanted to do is bring to you this video about some opportunities that I see for a couple of guys and their base rookie cards as a good investment opportunity. So let's start off with number 4. So number 4 is the 2011 Topps Chrome Freddie Freeman base rookie card. Now, Freddie Freeman is a perennial all-star. He's not the kind of guy that you would really ever expect to see on a buy low, but his card value has not skyrocketed like some others have in his same era. We saw before the season started, Anthony Rizzo, even from this 2011 set, started to really skyrocket because people had high hopes for him this year. He's not been, on fire, but he's been Anthony Rizzo. So his card value did start to recede a little bit. Obviously, we saw Mike Trouts and those guys pop up and stay up. However, the Freddie Freeman base rookie card is, in my opinion, slightly undervalued, and specifically in the top chrome. So now his base chrome can be had right now for under $20. We saw his Topps flagship base card run up a bit recently during the time period where all the 2011 cards started to run a little bit. So right now you can get his Topps base card. It's gone over $20 for the most part loose. And his chrome has yet to catch up. And the trend that I've seen for guys like this that are not ultra modern, but obviously not vintage, that are somewhere in between around the 2011 to 2016-ish era, is that first their Topps base cards really pop. And then once those get too high, then their Topps chrome cards start to experience a bit of an upward climb. And so Freeman, I'm looking at as one of those guys that I think will happen as soon as he really starts to hit the ball well this season. And he hasn't been bad. He's batting under 300, which I think is the attributable to why this card hasn't gone crazy yet. Freddie Freeman, you usually expect him to lead the league in walks and to bat around 300 and to hit at least 30 home runs. He's on a great Braves team this year, so that's another reason why I see his play taking it to the next level in the coming weeks as we approach the trading deadline and mid-season of the season already. His PSA 10 chromes actually are going for around $100. And when you get a guy like Freddie Freeman, who is a perennial all-star, and a PSA 10 base rookie of his, whether it's in chrome or the regular flagship, is at that $100 or less mark for a PSA 10, I see that as an incredible buying opportunity. And so that's why I'm still big on Freddie Freeman, specifically his chrome base card. He's only 30 years old. I think we look at Freeman and we think he's older, but he's been in the league for almost 10 years. And so that, to us makes him feel like a grizzled veteran. So he's not over the hill by any means. And again, he's on a great team. And with the fluctuations that we see players going through this year, on day one, when Yoenis Cespedes hit the first home run of the season, his card immediately started selling. That's pretty crazy. So when we see fluctuations like that, it makes me feel reassured that a guy like Freddie Freeman, who can be had right now raw for about $10 and PSA 10 for under or around $100, is a great investment opportunity. Number 3. So he's not the perennial like Freddie Freeman is, but I like him anyway, and that's Carter Kieboom. And it is his 2019 Topps update base card. So Carter Kieboom is one of those guys that just before the beginning of the season, the value of his card really skyrocketed, and it was purely on news and speculation alone. So a couple days before the year started, news broke that Washington was going to use him as the starting third baseman, everyday third baseman. And so his card value really started to go nuts at that time. His PSA 10 of this card was selling for around $50, $60, I believe. At the peak that I saw, it might have surpassed that a bit. and they were up from selling around $18, $15 before that. His Sapphire rookie card, Topps Chrome, was selling for about $200 at one point. And now his Sapphire Chrome card even is down below 100. You can have it for about 80 to 90 on eBay right now. And this loose card can be had for about $1 right now. So if you're looking for a, maybe medium to high risk, high reward candidate, I would say Carter Kieboom might be the guy. He's shown really good stuff when given the opportunity. He is streaky and he does have things to work out. The good news is he's been playing every day. He's at the bottom of that lineup. The Nationals have been kind of so-so. So it's a little bit of a weird period, but I think they are the Washington Nationals. They have an amazing roster. And I think there's plenty of time in the season for Kieboom to really start doing what everybody expected him to do, and that's hit for power. And I think he's going to be one of those guys where there's enough room in that lineup where if he strings together a hot week or two, he's going to get moved up in the lineup, and that's going to give him more opportunity to shine, and that's going to result in this card going up even more in value. So for me, if a base rookie card of a player who's got really good upside can be had for $1 loose, I would call that a really good investment opportunity, especially since we've seen this card in a PSA 10 already pop in value just on news alone. So when it's on play later, that is a good sign. Number 2, and you may be surprised at this one, maybe not, but it is Shohei Ohtani. It is the 2018 Topps Series 2 pitching variation of his card. So Shohei Ohtani had gigantic size hopes coming into the season, and it was factored into his card value before the season started. Again, another one of those players that was rampant with speculation that this is his year. He beefed up in the offseason. He's finally healthy. He was going to pitch and hit. It was set, dead set, ready to go. Then he had that first outing, and everything, the wheels fell off entirely. And people started abandoning his cards immediately. During that game, sellers were selling that card big time, trying to cash in on whatever they could while they could, because they were afraid that he's completely lost it, he's never gonna recover. The bad news is he's not gonna pitch the rest of the season. And definitely, one of the big things about him is that he was gonna be a two-way player. There's nobody else like that. So if he was able to do that and succeed, he could have been like a Deion Sanders, a multi-sport player, a Bo Jackson, a multi-sport player, but in baseball as a two-way player, pitcher and hitter. So it looks like the possibilities of that happening is fading fast. But what the good news is for collectors, owners of this card, is that Shohei Ohtani is also a power hitter. And card collectors love the long ball. So Ohtani also has the opportunity to DH now, full-time. He always did prior to this season and the rule change, but even when he's in National League ballparks, now he can constantly DH. And with pitching out of the picture, he doesn't necessarily have to sit every 6th or 5th day, although he probably will, because I'm sure they're gonna play it cautious with him throughout the rest of the season, unless the Angels really make a massive move and then they need him in play. And with other guys like Justin Upton kind of not doing so well. All of that rolled in together, this base 2018 Topps Series 2 rookie card loose can be had right now on eBay for about $2 a pop. So $2 for an investment in this card, I think is an amazingly low risk, high reward opportunity. His PSA 10s of this card have actually dropped and could have been had for about $30 or just under $30, depending on how quickly you snap them up after his poor play. They're starting to correct a little bit and go for about $40 or so, but there's still opportunity to go and get a PSA 10 of this base card of this really, really, really good player who may just have to do what he does best, and that's hit the ball for, PSA 10, $30, loose, $2. I'm taking that every day of the week. And so I'm gonna ride the Shohei Ohtani train until he's completely finished, if that happens. I don't think that'll happen. I don't think he's gonna become the best, most supreme home run hitter in the league, but I do think that there is for sure opportunity to invest in his cards and benefit from a down market in his case right now. So last but not least, number 1, and you may have guessed it, it is Pete Alonso. So Pete Alonso had gigantic sized hopes coming into this season after a monumentous power display in 2019. So Pete Alonso has started off ice cold to the point where people are really starting to panic and thinking that it's a sophomore slump, and it could very well be. But he has such incredible power, and again, collectors dig the long ball. So Pete Alonso has only played through, we've only had a couple weeks of the season so far. Guys start cold and then they pick up. We haven't had a long enough sample size with Pete Alonso to know, is he a first half player? Is he a second half player? What kind of player is he? Was it a fluke? Was it not? But to see somebody that has that much power, I am not quite sold on the fact that he is a fluke. And so as a result, you can get this Pete Alonso PSA 10 right now for about $45 to $50. They were running during the off season for around that price. We saw a little bit of an Alonso run where they went up to maybe like 70, 75 during the off season. And then we've seen Alonso's, I've seen Alonso's sell for around $100 PSA 10 before, but they've since dropped. And this is the opportunity to capitalize and purchase Pete Alonso, whether it's raw or whether it's graded PSA 10. Make sure it's the number 475 Pete Alonso from Topps Series 2. Very important. There's a lot of variations, and don't get the update set. And there's a lot of variations in the update set too. So Series 2, that is the most important card in my book to own for Pete Alonso. This is his flagship. This is his base Topps card. And if you guys have been following me long enough, you know that I kind of repeat till the cows come home that I am a Topps base guy. I like Bowman as well. I really feel strongly that Topps base cards are the way to go. And that's personally where I put my collection. So Pete Alonso, keep your eye on him, because the minute he starts hitting home runs and has back-to-back home runs, you're gonna see this card start to increase in value. Get it right now for $50 in a PSA 10 if you can, if you have the budget. I would say that is an incredible investment if you wanna go in and grab a couple at least. So that's it, guys. I mean, the running theme that you saw through these four is that they were guys that had high hopes for the season and started out cold. And so one thing that we've noticed is that hot and cold, similar to fantasy baseball, is really a huge important factor in investment opportunities for cards. And so you want to keep track day to day. And I would say that if you're a fantasy baseball player, it helps you exponentially because you're already doing that day to day. You're focusing on day-to-day play, you're watching the waivers, you're looking for who's starting out hot, who's starting out cold, and so on. And so now sports card and the hobby has almost become, fantasy baseball in the flesh, in cardboard, in a way, or foil. But of all these cards, what I would say, as always, like I just said, get the Topps base. If you can get any kind of autos or refractors or parallels of them while the prices are down, I would certainly encourage doing that as well. Sometimes it's really a good time to get loose parallels, colored cards for players like these, because those prices sort of exponentially grow when they're hot and then exponentially cool when they're not. So great opportunity for these four guys. I hope this helps you. If you put it into practice and succeed, awesome. Once again, my advice, it's not guaranteed, but I wanted to share this with you and share what my strategy is so that if you guys feel that it's right for you, then you can go ahead with the exact same strategy. And if you're a fan of one of these players and one of these teams, then even better, because then you can just, PC it, personal collect it, regardless of what happens. Thanks again, guys. Remember, keep your eye on the baseball season as it goes on. The card values are going to fluctuate. I'll definitely do more of these videos, top selling cards and top opportunity cards, ones to stay away from and ones to jump in on. If you guys like it, let me know. Throw some comments down below. If you agree with me, I want to hear it. If you don't, I want to hear that too. So thanks again, guys. Till next time, it's Parlay J. Take care, spike your hair. See you next time.